Welcome to Inside Outside Yoga, brought to you by Be More Fit. Today's practice is inspired by International Mental Health Day, and I think every day is a great day for us to check in with our mental and emotional health. So our practice today is maybe resetting the way we see the world, the way we see ourselves, and just taking some time to check in with how are we feeling. Let's do a little reset together. Join me on the mat. Let's start in our nice Sukhanasana, easy seat, comfortable seat, and just find ourselves breathing. At the beginning of all my practices, I invite everyone to just arrive, breathing naturally and comfortably, and acknowledging that we are about to start a practice. From here, we'll inhale 3 times and exhale 3 times. With each inhale, imagine your spine becoming taller and longer, pulling away from the mat. And with each exhale, feel your sits bones and your knees becoming heavier, pressing into the mat. And it's with this juxtaposition or this contrast that we're finding ourselves fully arriving on the mat. Inhaling slowly through the nose, becoming taller. Exhaling heavy in the sits bones and the knees and the feet. Inhale height. Exhale weight. Try to exhale through the nose as well. One last time. Inhaling space between the vertebrae. Exhale, rooting into the mat. And we'll move on to some head to knee. So I'm going to keep my right knee bent, right foot by the left thigh. Reach the left foot out. And inhale, exhale, reaching the left hand toward the shin, the ankle, or the toes. Breathing here, keeping your spine long, not collapsing in. Everything is active. Hold here and inhale the right arm overhead, arching toward the left toes. Maybe you reach all the way down, or maybe you're just up here, whatever works for you today in your practice. Inhale coming up, and exhale facing the torso toward your shins. This time both hands go toward the shin or toward your toes. Excellent. Inhale once more and exhale, transition to back up to sitting, switching our legs. Okay, so now left leg is bent, right leg is straight. Inhale, right arm toward the shin, toward your ankle, or toward your toes. Your side body is reaching in. You might feel some activity in the backs of the legs. Inhale the left arm up overhead, arching toward the right toes. Maybe this is it. Maybe you make it all the way down. But keeping your side body, so feel the stretch in that side body. Feel your breath pulling into the left ribs. Inhale, coming up to seated, and turn your torso to meet your shin or facing toward your shin. Inhale, exhale, bending toward the shin, both arms, toward the ankle, or maybe both hands can make it to the feet. Breathing into the backs of the legs, feeling a stretch here. And maybe just taking a moment for breath, for deep breath. Inhale, and then exhale, resetting, coming back to center. Let's go ahead and move into a tabletop. So in our tabletop, wrists are under shoulders, knees are under the hips, but the feet are active and the and the fingers are active. Any of those tarsals and metatarsals. Okay, and we'll start with some cat-cow. Breathing, inhaling, letting the belly drop, chest opens, throat opens, face comes up toward the ceiling. Exhale, chin dives in toward the chest, belly to spine, arching the back. Breathing with this movement. This is a meditation in and of itself, and meditation for many people is a great way to check in with their mental health, to reset their emotional state. I say give it a shot, give it a whirl. Okay, from here, we're going to press through the fingers, curl the toes, inhale and exhale, sending the hips all the way back. Allow your knees to be slightly bent, or maybe you even walk out your dog here. And if you're not familiar with this term, it's just an opportunity to kind of wake up the calves and the hamstrings. And when you have walked your dog out, take a moment in stillness. So down dog isn't necessarily about movement. Find your way into a moment of stillness, allowing the head to fall. Now let your head become light. And maybe release your neck, release your shoulders. Changing our perspective, both emotionally, physically, and also changing our blood flow. All of this can help us change our mental and emotional state. Okay, from here we're going to do a little flow. It's a little mini flow. So I'm going to come down onto my knees in almost a lightning pose. So just the knees are bent, hips coming back to the heels. If this doesn't work for you, you can always go into a Sukhanasana or to maybe wider knees. And just bringing ourselves here, knees bent, lightning pose. Inhale, bring the hands to our heart. Now we're going to do a flow. So we'll do this 3 times, starting here. Inhale. Exhale, bending forward into a modified child's pose. Forehead comes to the mat or maybe to a block, arms reaching out in front. From here, sliding the palms forward, allowing the forearms to come down to the mat, and stretching back, reaching the hips up into puppy. Forehead can still reach the mat. Keeping the palms and the forearms on the mat, bring the torso up, lowering down, coming into Sphinx pose. And you might have to move your arms a little bit, or maybe your block a little bit. Sphinx. Still keeping the tops of the feet active, opening up that chest and the throat. Inhale and exhale. We're going to push back and come to our lightning pose again. From lightning pose, inhale, arms up overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. And we begin again, round 2. Inhale, exhale, folding forward into modified child. Slide the palms forward, puppy. Slide further if you need. Allow the forearms to come down and come into Sphinx. One more time. Pressing back into lightning pose. Inhale, arms up overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Modified child's pose. Puppy. Sphinx. This time, pressing through the palms, we'll come into another down dog. So pressing all the way up, hips go all the way back, and take a moment to just breathe in our down dog, releasing the head, releasing the neck, releasing the shoulders, allowing the tension, the stress, the frustrations to drip off of our backs, off our heads, pool on the mat, and roll away. I love that vision. Just thinking about the things that are bothering us, just imagine them dripping and flowing away. Okay, pressing into the right foot. Inhale, left leg up into three-legged down dog. Check your hips so that they are not stacking. You're keeping them balanced, as balanced as you can. And maybe that means you bring your leg down a little bit. That's okay. Holding here for a breath. And exhale, bending the left knee, bringing it slowly through the center and placing left foot by the left thumb. Shift the back foot and you'll come up into a triangle pose. Maybe we need to change our stance a little bit, but triangle. So toes facing one direction to the sides. Inhale, arms out, open. Inhaling here, opening the chest, and maybe exhaling, pulling the pinkies back. Inhale, reach the left fingertips out over the left ankle. Exhale, hinging at the hips, reaching left hand to shin, to ankle, or the mat. Reaching those right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Inhale, coming up. Taking the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers, and shifting so that the torso comes over the leg, just like what we did in the warm-up. Inhale, chest open. Exhale, reaching the fingers back behind you, diving forward, hinging at the hips, and see where you feel comfortable bringing the arms back overhead. Maybe your arms stay at your hips. Maybe you pull them back towards your head. Find what feels comfortable for you. Release those fingers and bring them either to the mat or to a block to do a one-legged forward fold. Maybe it's three-legged. Whatever it is, your right leg floats up behind you and your hands come to a block, to a chair, or to the mat into a forward fold. Inhale, exhale, bringing that back foot down. Now we'll be in a warrior one. Warrior one, inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale, coming down a little deeper. And now a revolved warrior one. Inhale the chest up and exhale, sending the left hand back toward the right thigh, reaching the right fingertips forward, twisting the torso the opposite direction. Getting a little twist here. Inhale, maybe even bend back a little bit. Exhale, windmill the hands down to frame the left foot and step back into downward dog. Okay, from here, let's do a little chaturanga. So from our down dog, inhale, exhale, coming into our plank. Hold the plank for a moment and lower all the way down. Or we do chaturanga to up dog. From here, bending back, opening that chest. And then exhale, coming back into a downward facing dog. Okay, opposite leg this time. So pressing into the left leg. Inhale, right leg up. Holding here in three-legged, keeping the hips even and balanced. Inhale, exhale, bending that right knee, slowly bringing it through the center, placing right foot near your right thumb. Shift the back foot and come up into triangle. Okay, so with triangle, both our legs are straight, right? Inhale our arms out either direction. Left fingertips, right fingertips, energies going the opposite directions. Inhale, chest open. Exhale, pull the pinkies behind you. Inhale, send the right fingertips over the right ankle. Exhale, hinging at the hips, diving down, right hand to right shin, ankle, foot, or mat. Left fingertips up toward the ceiling. You might even have a block here too, if that's in your practice. Breathing here. Excellent. And inhale, coming back up, switching that torso to reach over your thigh, bringing the hands behind you in a bind. And you can keep those hands here, pulling back toward the mat. Inhale, exhale, hinging forward toward the thighs. And you can keep those hands here, or maybe pull the hands toward the head. Whatever is in your practice, whatever feels good for you here. Keeping your mind on challenging things can help us to reset our emotional state as well. Distract you with some challenges. Okay, speaking of challenges, let's do one. Releasing your fingers and bringing your hands to the block or to the mat. Inhale, left leg up. All the weight is on the right foot. Forehead is leaning toward the shins. And we're all in a different place. Your yoga is not going to look like my yoga. Take one more breath and exhale, bringing that back leg down, bending the front foot, warrior one. Inhale, chest open. Exhale, come down a little deeper. Inhale, reaching fingertips up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bringing the right hand back toward the left thigh. Left fingertips are still going up toward the ceiling. I'm really good at left and right. It's okay. I'm going to forgive myself for not being perfect all the time. Opening that chest, breathing into that twist. Maybe inhale, doing a little bit more of a back bend, and exhale, windmill the hands to frame that front foot. Step back into a downward facing dog. Let's go through a chaturanga to up dog. So from here, coming into my plank. Inhale, exhale, lowering down, chaturanga, and then up dog. Flipping the feet, pressing through the feet to opening up. Inhale, and this time, exhale, just down onto our knees. And we're going to roll through. So through the knees, I'm going to cross my ankles and come to a seated position, but whatever works for you. Now we're going to do a legs up in the air. You can use the wall for support. You can use a belt for support, or you can just join me here, coming back, and you can hold the backs of the legs. I like to grasp my hands behind my hamstrings, straightening my legs, and we'll just do some point and flex here for a moment. Now, again, you could do this with a belt around the heels, or you could do this with your legs up the wall, or even up the back of a couch, some kind of furniture, maybe another person, whatever you've got around. Okay, now we're going to do some rolling. You can stop with the flexing and the pointing and just taking a minute to breathe into your feet being in a different perspective. Remember, change your point of view. Changing your point of view can help us to reset our emotional, mental station. And we're talking about this with things like we have too much stress, or someone frustrated you at work, or maybe even your partner is really bumming you out. If you have any serious issues, mental and emotional, there are some really phenomenal programs out there for support. And I think everyone should periodically go in for counseling. I think it's such an underused service that we have in the United States. Okay, so from here, release your legs. And if you're back behind a couch or something, let's move, because we're going to do some rolling. You ready? So when we roll, gently rolling back and forth along the length of the spine, coming up to seat, and then coming back. Knees maybe are over the face, and you could do this slowly or quickly. What's going to work for you? Let's do a few more. gets the core going, and it's a little bit joyful for me. If it hurts, of course, as always, don't go there. Okay, we're going to do one more roll, and on the next roll, we're actually going to come into a shoulder stand. So rolling and stopping here, pressing my feet up toward the ceiling, hands behind on my lower back, reaching those toes up, supporting the lower back with my elbows and the backs of my arms. Take one more breath here. Inhale and exhale. Slowly bring the legs down. And we'll do a little happy baby or even just a little hugging the knees into chest. And now I invite you to roll back and forth the other direction. So we're going to side versus up and down the spine. So that could be a happy baby, or that could just be in giving yourself a hug, reminding yourself that you are loved. Okay, and then we're going to do one more. And this time when we do our rolls, we're going to end up in a plow pose. So rolling back and forth, coming all the way up to almost a seated position. Try not to put your feet down. Keep this hovering. Whoa, sometimes I don't get enough speed to make it all the way up. Okay, one more. Okay, this time let's roll all the way back into plow. So arms are in the same, almost the same position. You can be supporting your back here, just like you were with the shoulder stand, but now we're sending the feet overhead. And I found that as I was learning to do this, your knees might be over the face and you're just holding here. You might have blocks under the feet to support, or maybe you're just practicing reaching those toes behind you. Be very careful with the neck here. Not too much pressure. You want to use the arms. Anything feels funny, please slowly come out of it. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly roll down as slow as you can. Place your feet on the mat. Knees are bent. We'll go into a bridge pose. Okay, so from our bridge, and you could do wheel as well here, something to just change your perspective, but we'll just do bridge. Feet, pressing the feet into the mat, knees are bent, palms are on the mat, forearms are on the mat. Inhale, pressing through the feet and the hands so that the hips raise up toward the ceiling. Breathing into this. If you'd like to do a bind underneath your hips, take both your fingers, interlock both your hands and interlock the fingers, pressing through the forearms, the elbows, the hands to take pressure off of your neck and allow the hips to rise up toward the ceiling. Take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lowering down, vertebrae by vertebrae. All right. I'm going to do another roll, but I'm going to cross my ankles. Watch this. So crossing my ankles, coming up to a seated position. Now I can sit back, move back, and I'm going to roll forward. Okay, we're actually going to get down into a bow pose in just a moment, but we're back in our tabletop. From our tabletop, if you want to do a little more cat-cow, just to warm up the spine, maybe do side to side. I'm going to do a quick balance here. Press the right hand into the mat, left knee into the mat. Inhale, left hand outstretched, left thumb coming up to the ceiling. Reach the right leg back. Toes can be curled on the mat, holding here. Or bring the right heel up, balancing, holding here. And of course, if you'd like, you can do some crunches or just balance, find a drishti. Inhale and exhale, lower down, and we'll switch. Weight is on the left hand and the right knee. Inhale, right arm straight and out, right thumb up toward the ceiling. Stretch the left leg out. Toes can be curled and pressing on the mat as a tripod. Hold here or raise the left heel toward the ceiling. Holding here. You can do crunches. You can do whatever works for you, or just hold it here. Find your drishti, find your focal point Focus only on this moment and nothing else in your world. Inhale and exhale, lowering down. From here, let's come down to our bellies. Okay, in our bellies, let's take a moment to reach our arms out, fingertips one direction, and then the toes out the other direction, just like in the balance we just did, but it's both hands and both feet at the same time. Inhale, exhale, release. And now we'll come into a bow. So from here, reaching back, maybe this is as far as we get, just holding here. Holding our feet behind us. Maybe you need a strap to do this, that's okay. Or maybe you kick your feet into your hands, arching the back, opening the chest, feeling pressure into the hips, pulling up as high as feels comfortable. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale, release. And taking a moment, I'm going to bring my hands into a pillow and bring my forehead to my fingers here. And we'll take 3 deep breaths in this prone, almost Shavasana. As you're breathing here, release the shoulders, release the neck. And of course, you can stay in this posture. I think this is one for wonderful meditation, and it's changing our perspective of what Shavasana needs to be or what we need to be. From here, I'm going to come up and say goodnight to all of you, but stay in your Shavasana if that feels good. Do what feels good. Do it meet your body where your body is at. Thank you so much for letting me join you in your journey, and I really hope I get to see you again soon. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and namaste.